So what we're working on at the moment is actually continuing our work on integrating very diverse sources of functional genomics data and trying to really understand how do cells operate. How can we take all of this very noisy and very heterogeneous data and try to make models of pathways, figure out the function of unknown proteins, figure out how exactly they interact with other proteins, and how does that lead to actually the cell functioning and causing different phenotypes. So I chose Genome Biology for my paper because of the open access in the journal and also its wide impact on both biology and bioinformaticians. For me, it's important that not just the people in my community read the paper, but also the broad audience of genomicists, geneticists, people who could really use our methods in their daily research. And so that was a large part of why we chose it. But also the fast review time was what we were very interested in. And in fact, that was something that we did get. And so that was really attractive for us as well. My experience publishing the paper was great. The editorial team was very fast in response. We got the first reviews back, I think, within a month or maybe 5 weeks. And we got 4 reviews, and all of them were actually from people who clearly understood the paper, read that. We did have to do revisions, but it was something where we had a feeling that it made the paper really better, and it wasn't just busy work that we were doing to only make the reviewers happy. So the reviewers were great. I felt that the editor was extremely reasonable in terms of our concerns and evaluating our response to reviewers. And upon acceptance, the publication was almost immediate. So that's been really great in terms of the experience. So when I published the paper in Genome Biology, our paper was immediately accessed by hundreds of people. And I think within a couple of weeks or a month, there was over 1,000 accesses. So over 1,000 people have read it. We started getting emails from very diverse people all over the world who were very interested in the paper, who were working on anything from yeast, which is actually the model organism that we use in our system, to human health, cancer data integration, other areas. And the website that accompanies this paper, the system that we've developed, has been getting thousands of hits from everywhere. And I've heard back from a lot of biologists who have read the paper and have now been using it to direct their further experiments. So I think that if we hadn't sent it to Genome Biology, had sent it to a specific bioinformatics journal, and potentially even if we sent it to a journal that was wider impact but more restricted access, I don't think we would have had such an immediate, such a high impact from this paper. So I feel open access is very important for publication of our research because not every researcher or industry person or biologist who would be reading this paper would necessarily have access to a particular journal that we may be publishing in our field in their library. I also do think, just out of selfish reasons as a researcher publishing in this journal, that means that there's a much larger potential audience for the paper. So while we actually get the same prestige, we get a much wider access than we would in a lot of typical journals.